Good morning, internet family. Happy hump day. Hump day being the middle of the week, like a camel's hump, just in case anyone ever wondered what that meant, because I didn't used to know. So I'm driving, pretty long drive. I'm beginning to love my long drives because I get to listen to sermons or talk to you guys. And I wanted to share something and this is me like making a confession, kind of, and sharing something, and it's me being super vulnerable today. I didn't realize how out of control I was. So many of you know, if you're watching me now, you may have seen my post in my other video where I'm asking for help, and I'm still asking for help. I have no shame in asking for help, because I know if the Lord lays it on your heart, then it's the Lord wanting to help me. So, and if not, then I won't go. But many of you will know because of that I am planning to go to Kenya in August on my birthday. It's the day the school starts, actually, August 5th, for a 4-week missionary training school. I don't even have words for that. But anyway, so when this became a possibility, a lot of things changed instantly for me. So I have to be ready to go and live as part of the African culture for 4 weeks, and live in a group of other sanctified people for 4 weeks, in a small space of other people for 4 weeks, being held totally and completely accountable. And I'm like, whoa. So there's some things I need to change, and here's what those things are. I can't take in 400, 600 milligrams of caffeine a day anymore. I can't, on the nights where I don't think I'm going to be able to fall asleep, probably because of the caffeine, assist myself in falling asleep with whatever over-the-counter thing I decide to take that night. I can't go and spend $10 on ice cream every single day and be addicted to sugar. The list goes on, but those are like the top of my things right now. And I'm like, am I really this bad? Did I really get to this point in my life where I'm so self-absorbed, where I'm not? Because, when I started thinking about this, I'm working on, this is super cute. Let me share this with you. This is the smallest size available at Starbucks. A friend gave me a gift card, and I was trying to make it last 2 visits. There is no sugar and very minimal caffeine in that. Go me! Usually my drinks are like $12 with 4-6 shots of espresso. When I've been realizing how bad it is. I know that I take in too much caffeine. I know that I eat too much sugar. I know that I'm not the best steward with money, but because I'm more generous with others than I am with myself, I've always justified it. Because I eat healthy other than ice cream, I justified it. Because I'm not hurting anybody, I justify the caffeine. And then starting to cut all this out, I'm kind of weaning, tapering off of the caffeine, and I'm just, slowly and surely working out everything out of my day, and it's kind of abruptly, but I'm realizing how much better I already feel. Like, I'm actually probably, my body's probably suffering a little right now for lack of it, and at the same time, I still feel better. What have I been doing to myself? And I'm thinking about, how I haven't been holding myself accountable, and how it doesn't matter if the Lord has called us to something that we're aware of at that moment already or not. We have to steward things well anyways. In fact, maybe if I didn't have such an ice cream and coffee problem, I would have the money to cover my stuff for Kenya myself right now. I hadn't even thought about that really until just now. Not that deeply. It's humbling. It's really humbling to me that I have, over whatever space of time, allowed myself to get this way. I remember preparing for Uganda before last year. I remember cutting nicotine out completely, which was not the first time I had done that. It was the 4th time I had done that. Because I had a purpose. I had a purpose all of a sudden. And here's the thing, guys. So maybe you don't ever go on a mission trip or to missionary school to where you're going to be in those circumstances that I'm going to be in, to where it's that big of a deal and it feels like that much pressure because of all the accountability around you. Maybe your purpose isn't that big visually. And I say visually because, let's just face it, let's be honest, we all have a purpose. We all have a big purpose, or God wouldn't have created us, okay? He doesn't waste so much as a second or a particle of anything, let alone an entire human life. We all have a purpose, and a big one. And we're all important, and we're all responsible for stewarding ourselves well enough to fulfill that purpose. And we should all be able to hold ourselves accountable and surround ourselves with people who also hold us accountable. And I haven't done either one of those lately, not in every aspect. Like what I do with all these things I've talked about and other things, I wouldn't because no one's paying attention to me when I'm at home, you know. But it's important that we make sure we set those things up anyways. It's important that we each hold ourselves accountable in setting up people holding us accountable, and that we always look at everything that we do in our lives in a sense that, like, okay, so how does this help me fulfill the purpose that God has for me? Whether or not we have mission trips to go on, whether or not we have other things, I should have been doing this a long time ago, and sometimes I do, you know, and then I'm right back into it again, and then I go through all this process of, it's like a teeter-totter with me in these things. But bottom line is that we have to steward our bodies, our lives, our money, our relationships, all of these things to be prepared for whatever God calls us to do in any given moment. So that at any second, we are not too fatigued, we are not too exhausted, we are not too broke, we are not too out of shape. We are not anything that would prevent us from doing what God would call us to do, that we are in the best shape in every arena of our life all the time, so that we are useful in any way. It doesn't have to be just the ways that we're already being used, because what if He calls us higher? Are we going to be ready? What if He needs something more from us? Are we going to be prepared? What if He desires something for us that's bigger than what we think is possible, and it actually is bigger than what actually even is possible, because we're not taking care of today. We're not taking care of ourselves. So I am fully convicted, fully humbled, and disciplined once again. I was going for a run yesterday, and I'm running, and I've stopped running, and I'm like all this fatigue, and I'm like, I really want to go to Cream City and get an ice cream cone. So I just started singing. I really want an ice cream cone, but I'm not going to, because Kenya and missionary school and the Lord's purpose on my life is more important, because that's how serious it is for me right now with the ice cream. I'm just going to admit that. But you know, we have to steward our money. We have to steward ourselves. We have to steward our mind. All of these things, as if the Lord was going to have us do something giant. You know, like when He called Moses out of his 40 years of being a shepherd, or, you know, before He called him back to Egypt. What about Noah and his normal little life that he had before he built the ark? What about King David? Everyone else. If they hadn't been stewarding all of the things in their life, every arena of their life, their mind, body, spirit, you know, then they wouldn't have been able to do what the Lord suddenly called them to do. There would be no suddenlies if it weren't for the preparation and those quiet, even boring, even monotonous days in between and up to. There would be no suddenlies. So I want to encourage everyone else, just like I'm having to do right now, to prepare for your suddenlies, and to stay prepared always for your suddenlies, so that we are not caught off guard and we are not unprepared and not ready for what the Lord would call us to do. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I love you all.